Glad you liked it. Do you want any refinements or additions to make it even more powerful? The moment you decide to change, you set yourself apart. Not intentionally, not out of arrogance, but simply because transformation demands it. Growth is not a group activity. It's personal, it's uncomfortable, and most importantly, it's lonely. You see, when you start thinking differently, acting differently, and aiming higher, the people around you won't always understand. Some will be confused, some will feel threatened, and some will even try to pull you back. Not because they don't want you to succeed, but because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Think of it like climbing a mountain. At the base, the crowd is thick. Everyone is talking, laughing, and moving at a comfortable pace. But as you climb higher, the air gets thinner, the path gets steeper, and the number of people around you start to shrink. Not because you abandoned them, but because they chose to stay where it was easy. That's the reality of growth. It creates distance, and the higher you go, the more distance you'll create. Some people will cheer you on from below, others will tell you to come back down, but very few will be willing to make the climb with you. And that's where the challenge begins. The world does not reward those who stay the same. It rewards those who adapt, evolve, and reinvent themselves over and over again. Reinvention is not optional, it is the price you pay for becoming the person you were meant to be. Think about it. Everything around you is in a constant state of change. Technology advances, industries shift, and the way people think evolves. The only way to stay ahead is to embrace change within yourself. But here's the problem. Most people are afraid of reinvention. They cling to what's familiar, to the identity they've built, to the comfort of what they know. They fear that if they change, they might lose the approval of others. They might lose their sense of security. They might even lose themselves. But the truth is, staying the same is the real risk. If you resist reinvention, you get left behind. The skills that made you successful yesterday may not be relevant tomorrow. The mindset that kept you going in the past may not be enough for where you're headed next. Growth is not about holding on, it's about letting go. Letting go of old habits, old beliefs, old versions of yourself that no longer serve you. Some of the most successful people in history were not the ones who got it right the first time, they were the ones who dared to start over. They reinvented themselves, sometimes multiple times, until they became unstoppable. They weren't afraid to destroy the old, to build something new. Reinvention requires courage. It requires a willingness to step into the unknown, to embrace uncertainty, to trust that the version of you that is waiting on the other side is stronger, smarter, and more powerful than the one you're leaving behind. And yet, despite its necessity, reinvention is rarely met with instant applause. When you change, people will question you. They will remind you of who you used to be. They will try to define you by your past because that's the only version of you they are comfortable with. But you do not owe the world consistency. You owe yourself evolution. The most dangerous thing you can do in life is to stay the same while everything else moves forward. Rejection is not the end of the road. It is proof that you are walking a path others do not yet understand. It is the world's way of testing whether you truly believe in the person you are becoming. The moment you decide to grow, to dream bigger, to step outside of what is familiar, rejection will find you. People will doubt you. They will tell you that you are making a mistake. They will laugh at your ambitions, dismiss your ideas, and remind you of every reason why you should stay exactly where you are. And that's how you know you're on the right track, because rejection is not about you, it's about them. When you change, it forces people to confront their own fears. Your transformation challenges their comfort. Your ambition reminds them of their hesitation. Your courage exposes their reluctance. And instead of facing their own limitations, they project their doubts onto you. Look at history. The greatest innovators, thinkers, and creators were all met with rejection before they were met with recognition. They were misunderstood, they were ridiculed, they were told their ideas were too different, too unrealistic, too far ahead of their time, and yet they persisted, not because they had the approval of others, but because they had something far more powerful: conviction. Rejection is a filter. It separates those who seek validation from those who seek transformation. The ones who give up at the first sign of disapproval were never truly committed. But those who push forward despite the criticism, despite the resistance, despite the loneliness, those are the ones who change the world. The danger is not in being rejected. The danger is in letting rejection make you question yourself. Too many people shrink when they are doubted. They second-guess their vision, water down their dreams, and compromise their potential just to be accepted. But acceptance at the cost of your authenticity is a prison. You were not meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. And the only way to stand out is to keep moving forward, even when the world tells you to turn back. No one will see it the way you do. No one will feel it as deeply as you do. No one will understand why you wake up thinking about it, why it keeps you up at night, why it refuses to let you settle for anything less. Because your vision is yours alone. From the moment an idea takes root in your mind, it belongs to you. It speaks to you in a way that it doesn't speak to anyone else. It's not their responsibility to believe in it. It's not their job to understand it. And it's certainly not their place to validate it. The biggest mistake people make is expecting others to see what they see before it exists. They explain, they justify, they beg for support, only to be met with confusion, skepticism, and doubt. Not because the vision is flawed, but because it hasn't been realized yet. The world doesn't believe in things it cannot see. It needs proof. It needs results. It needs something tangible before it is willing to accept something new. But visionaries don't wait for the world to catch up. They move forward regardless. Look at every breakthrough, every invention, every revolution in history. They all started with a single person who saw something no one else could see. A person who was told they were unrealistic, foolish, even delusional. A person who had every reason to give up, but didn't. Because they understood something most people never will. You don't need permission to believe in your own vision. If you wait for the world to understand, you will wait forever. If you wait for approval, you will never start. And if you let the doubts of others shape your path, you will never reach the destination you were meant for. The people who doubt you now will be the same ones who admire you later. The ones who dismiss your vision today will claim they always believed in you tomorrow, but by then it won't matter, because you will have already proven what they couldn't see. So protect your vision, nurture it, build it, even when no one understands, because the only person who needs to believe in it is you.